Way behind tonight, guys. I'm really liking the tremolo. And my PA is on, so you're actually hearing the room mic and the feed directly into the interface, both with the guitar tonight. It's actually a little loud. If I adjust that, watch, if I bring my vocals down just a little bit. If I take that out, we're just going to do the guitar on the input of the interface. Helps to hit the right button. I'm still getting used to the bar. I'm finding myself with my hand slips off the bar, and it's due to the angle of this bar. Okay, it's a little different than what I'm used to playing, so I'm reaching down and I'm grabbing it, and I'm expecting, I don't know what it is. I don't have the tendency of doing that with the Floyd, like I can pull down on it. This one feels either it's slicker or the angle is different. So I'm finding myself something else I've noticed. I'm not picking on this guitar whatsoever, guys, but I want everyone to kind of listen and see if they hear something funny in the chug. I'm gonna chug the E, but when I chug the A, I want y'all to hear if you hear like a ringing, like a spring noise.
Devastator wants to know if you got a hold of Sweetwater about the pickup.
I didn't get a hold of Sweetwater today. Today was crazy at the site. I had the stonemasons there. I had the closet people there. I had the drywall guy there. Painter was there. Blind guys were there doing blinds. It was chaos today at the job site. Yeah, I didn't really have time to do anything other than watching subs all day. But I want y'all to listen to if I chug on the E. Tell me if you hear something funny when I switch to the A. All right, we're gonna chug on the E. Alright, now I'm going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to ride the A. You guys hear that? Now if I go down, back to the A. Maybe it's my little squirrel ears, but I hear something strange on the A. As long as I stay on the E, I don't hear it, but at first I thought there was something maybe going on with the seat cut right here, but if I put my finger behind the nut, I don't know. Does anyone else?
Chip and Niles says buzzing.
Yeah, there's something going on with the A. I think at first I thought something was going on right here. Okay? Sometimes if you don't have a reverse chamfer, and let's say you've got a flat spot in that V where the string nests in, if this is over tightened, some of the Floyd Rose nuts will put a hump in the string, and it'll actually hit the back of this flat piece of metal because the metal has a thickness to it. If you don't pitch that V groove back, okay, not enough to where when you tighten it, it cuts through the string, but sometimes when you lock that thing, it'll put an arc in the string and it'll give it like a sitar effect right there. And at first, I was kind of like, at first I thought it was that. But now I'm thinking, if you remember when we checked the neck on this guitar, it was almost perfectly straight on the neck relief. I think it was like 0.2 millimeters. It's barely showing any light through it. And the action on this guitar is pretty low. So I'm thinking I may put a little relief in the neck and see if that does go away. There's definitely something going on with the A in the open position. And it goes away on the 5th fret. But this guitar plays. This guitar plays, guys. It makes me want to play faster than I'm actually capable of playing. So I make a lot of mistakes. Like the Jackson, the guitar is far better than I am, and it plays so effortlessly. I find myself going quicker than I'm used to playing. And I make a lot of fretting errors, picking errors, because I'm playing faster than I normally play, simply because it's a feel that you get behind it. And I did change the EQ just a little bit. I dropped the mids back a little bit, and believe it or not, I brought the highs up a little bit, but cut the mids, left the bass where it was. It's one of those things where you got to kind of tinker with it and find where the guitar likes to be. And it has not stabilized yet. It's still losing tune on the G and the B. So I'm going to keep track of it. I figured after playing it last night and then sitting all day that it would be okay. And before the stream, I played it and I tuned it. And it seems like if I play it hard, those two strings are falling off. So I'm going to give it one more day, and we'll see if it starts to hold tune at that point. I usually don't have an issue with strings stretching more than a day or two. And it's not like I just put these strings on. So this guitar was checked at Sweetwater, so it's had tension on these strings for quite some time. I'm pointing out what I'm finding with the guitar. So everyone knows you buy a new guitar, you take it out, you play it, you're like, okay, let's see what it's doing. So this is what it's doing and what I'm seeing right now. I can't be any more honest than that. I do like the way the tremolo feels, but if it is losing, okay, tension. Now I did not set this guitar up. I have not checked the nuts back here to make sure they're tight. So another thing that can cause it, if you don't have the proper tension back here, because this one works like a Floyd Rose. When you put the string in and that screw pushes on the block, it can slip a little bit back there. It is very possible that it could be slipping back here. I have not checked the nuts. It's also possible that up here it might be slipping. But these feel tight. Okay, I haven't put a wrench on them and checked them, but I don't hear it popping or anything. It does seem like no matter what I do, it returns to zero. Now if I go up, a lot of tremolos will fall off going up. So the knife edges seem to be fine on it. And something I've also noticed, I need to play a little cleaner. These pickups seem to pick up when I hammer on. If I'm too close to the fret, these pickups will tell you. The Seymour Duncans and the other Ibanez pickups, they're more forgiving when you come in. Just like that dead note that I had here that I missed. These pickups really pick up your mistakes. Granted, I understand they're pickups, but the EQ curve on them, the way they sound, they really pick up on every mistake that you make on the fretboard. And I think that's good. I think it teaches us. It's nice to have a guitar that you can kind of cheat, okay, and you can kind of push, your skill, and you go, oh, that sounds okay, because the pickups do this or the frets or whatever. This guitar will tell you if you're doing something wrong. I have noticed that. But if you play it right, it sounds right.
Devastator says, which do you prefer so far, this one or the Jackson?
All honesty, the Jackson was a better guitar. Period. 100% the Jackson was a better guitar. I like the sound of these pickups a little bit better than the Jackson ones. Okay? I like the feel of this tremolo over the Floyd Rose in the Jackson. Okay? Just the general feel of it. How smooth it is. But the Jackson held tune. I tuned that Jackson, and I never tuned it again. That one showed up at the store. We unboxed it. I brought it home. We did the live review that night. So it had been sitting. It was tuned at the store on Thursday. So it sat midday Thursday, Friday. Then I brought it home, did the review on Saturday. So it had time. I guess, to acclimate, but I still brought it in a different house. Um, I didn't have any problems with the tuning stability on the Jackson. The fret feel of the neck on the Jackson, I hate to say it. I mean, this is a nice guitar, guys. There's nothing wrong with this guitar. The Jackson feel on the frets was better. Okay, it's just it. Overall, the Jackson is a better guitar than this one. Overall, okay. Now, you might like the sound of this one better. I like the feel of this one against my body better. Okay, and this one plays fast, feeling just like the Jackson. But I'm 100% honest. The Jackson is a better crafted instrument. That's the best way of putting it. The American made Jackson, you can tell it had more human time put on the setup, put on dressing the frets, cleaning the frets. There was just more human interaction and setup work done to the Jackson. Even though this guitar, supposedly, well, it did. It come from Sweetwater. It was set up from the factory, which had time, and then someone at Sweetwater went back through the setup again. So it's had technically 2 checks, and the Jackson I still feel was just set up a little better.
Rezo says Ibanez has a much thinner neck. They can be very unstable at times.
Well, this one's a 3-piece. So both the Jackson and this should have extremely stable necks on them. I'm not contributing this to neck movement, because it's something that when I play with the tremolo and I play the guitar hard, it is falling out of tune. So I don't contribute that to the neck. Now, when winter comes and the furnace cuts on, my oil furnace, you start, your spring and fall, your guitars start moving. Different areas of the country, of course, is going to be different. If you live out in Arizona, it's very dry. I live on the East Coast, so it gets cold and hot here. So next week it's supposed to be 100. Okay. Well, in the winter, it can drop down to, -5. That's not common, but we've had weeks where it'll stay in the teens all week. Okay. So there's a large temperature change in Virginia. So that really affects the instruments in your home. That's when these type necks come into play. Okay. Because they're very stable. They're not going to move. Conventional guitars, like all my other guitars, are 1-piece necks. Some of them, I don't really notice that much of a difference. Now, they move. They do. Every guitar moves. But it's not to the point where I'm adjusting the truss rod. I deal with the action change. The little bit that, the guitar does move, like my yellow Kramer, the Kramer Assault. Both of those move. But they don't move to the point it's like, oh, wow, I got a lot of neck relief now in the spring, so I'm going to do a truss rod adjustment. Wintertime comes, and then all of a sudden it starts buzzing all over the place, and I got to relieve the neck. I don't usually have that problem. That's another reason why I try to set my guitars at like 0.065, 0.07. If you've got your action slammed and you're wanting that super, super low action, you're going to be chasing that neck more, because everything's got to be perfect to get that perfect low timing. Nothing wrong with that. I find that setting for me, that string height, seems to work. The strings aren't so high where I'm having to really reach up and find notes, but yet it's low enough that it's easy to play. It's not so low that it's choking the harmonics. That's not to say that you can't set a guitar at 0.06 on the low E and 0.055 on the high E and not get harmonics. I have had the opportunity to play some guitars that were set up like that, and say what you want, all the stars aligned, all the moon and the planets, the guitar just had it, and it could handle that setup, and it just played like a monster. But that's hard to find, guys. It's hard to find that guitar that does that. if that makes sense, and is stable at that kind of setting. That's why you're starting to see these, 5-piece, 3-piece, 7-piece necks. They're trying to get more and more stable with these setups. So I want to go back through the chat here and see who we got all in the group. I think I saw searching for tone in here earlier. So we got Jerry's in the group, Nicholas is in the group, Devastator's in the group, Jupe's in the group, of course my funny honey's in the group. Time Surfing Alien, good to have you back, man. We got Pentagore in the group. I think I saw Pentagore on the Discord server the other night chatting. I think he was getting his mic and stuff set up. And we got Mikey. Mikey actually made it before the end of the stream. Wow, that was a little loud. Let me check that again. There we go. So if you had your volume up, it probably just blew out your eardrums. Let me see. I thought I saw Searching for Tone chirp in. I'm not seeing. Yep, there he is. He says, evening, everybody. Then we have Niles is also in the group. I'm going to say that's...
You got Steve and Birdman also.
Oh, Birdman. Don't go anywhere, Birdman. We got to get a hold of you for a second. I'm going to say that's Haise. Haise? Yeah, I'm really bad with pronunciation, guys. I'm good at math. English, I speak it, but that's about it. We got Rezo's in the group. It's good to have Rezo in here. Rezo, that's not throwing you under the bus, buddy, but I want to say, as far as views and opinion, Rezo and I, we see eye to eye on some things. And that's, when Rezo makes a comment, I'll always look at it and I go, okay, there's a reason. And that's what makes the chat interesting. Jerry also has a different views than I have, largely different views. And I always find reading their comments interesting. This is just me. So Jupe, I'm sure, has different views. Everyone has a different view, but I noticed Rezo's comments I gravitate towards because I'm curious to see what his angle is on it or what his thought is on it. Everyone in the group probably has someone that they gravitate to, like Kirk the other night on the Discord server talking about live sound. I didn't say too much. I think I talked a little bit about insert cables, but I paid more attention to what he was saying. If that makes sense, guys. So it's good to have people in the chat with different opinions. That's where I'm going with this. Anyway, in the last stream, I do want to apologize. I did go back and listen to the stream. I listened to it 3 times because I do have rules that I try to apply by, guys. And there's a side of me that says I did not cross the line. But there's also a side of me that says I should not do that. Okay? You guys have the opportunity to do or say anything that you want to say. But if I was out of line or anyone took it the wrong way, that I apologize. But I did qualify my statements by it. I see guys all the time do things that I view, on the job site being reckless, or, that's not how I would approach it. But as long as the end result is good, I guess that's where I'm going with that. But I definitely want to apologize to anybody that may have taken that the wrong way. And I could be completely off base there, guys. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. But if not, I try to set myself to a higher standard, if that makes sense. But we're all human, and I make mistakes at work. Sometimes I say things that I regret later, and I'm always self-conscious of stuff like that. And some days we just have an off day. We're in a mood, I guess is what we're saying. Thank the Lord, I don't usually have those days where I'm in a mood, if that makes sense. So if anyone knows what I'm talking about, I just wanted to get that off my chest. And it was discussed on the Discord thing too, so you can go check it out there as well. But I think that's all I got on. Oh, Birdman. I got to get back to Birdman.
Yeah, he said, am I in trouble?
No, Birdman, you're not in trouble. This is what I got for you, Birdman, right here. Oh, I guess it helps to spin it around. And I looked through a couple things that I had, and I've watched your videos, and I watch how you play, and I think this will be fitting for you. Okay, I did do a review on this, and what this is the American Sound. Okay, this thing is great for doing blues and early 80s rock and roll. You're not going to get super high gain distortion out of this, but it is a monster at crunch tones and light distortion tones. So this is the pedal I'm going to be sending you.
Devastator said, as flat-chested as you are, I think it fell off already. LOL.
Yeah, exactly.
Steve
So,
Steve said, Avery, guess what? We're all human and should afford each other a good deal of grace.
yeah, guys, I really, I don't want to be a channel that does bad things, if that makes sense. We're all human, and if you think I didn't, there was just a little flag, and Linnell was my safety code. She said, yeah, you went, maybe one over. So I don't want that, if that makes sense. The last thing I want is to put a wedge between me and another content creator, or me and someone in the chat, if that makes sense. I am 100% about learning. And sometimes I forget why I started this channel. I started this channel because I went on YouTube looking for information, and what I got was a great big infomercial. That's what YouTube has become. It's a great big infomercial. They're either selling time or selling guitar lessons or selling links to their Amazon affiliate links or whatever it is. I just didn't see anyone that was just a musician that was posting and saying, hey, let's talk and chat about it. So that's why I started the channel. I just wanted a different take than what I was seeing. And I'm sure those channels are out there. YouTube is bad about hiding what I feel is good content. And I come across the channel and it's like, wow, this guy is really good. And I look back and he's been doing YouTube for 10 years. But I just now stumbled across his content. It's like, how come YouTube never threw this guy in front of me before?
Kurt said you did nothing wrong, Avery. I take the blame in the heat.
Okay, Kurt. But here you go, Birdman. This is a great little pedal. You're going to love it.
Kurt didn't do anything wrong either.
Yeah, Kurt, you didn't do anything wrong either. So it's got low, mid, and high, just like your basic. And then the level, voice, and drive. And this voice control, I'm telling you, that voice control, it does exactly what it says. This voice control really changes how this pedal sounds. When you bring it more over here, you're going to get more of that 80s, okay? When you bring it back more like this, you're going to get more of that early 60s, Fender or Vox kind of distortion, light distortion sound. And changing the level, okay, based on the voice and the output really changes the way the pedal drives, if that makes sense. So I did not check my email yet, so if you haven't sent me your address, make sure you send your address. I'm not going to be able to get it out to you this week, so it'll probably be Wednesday of next week before I can actually ship it out to you.
He said cool, the quote-unquote Fender voiced one. Ooh.
What's this?
He said cool, the quote-unquote Fender
Yeah, it's funny. I'm gonna say that that is true. It does have a Fenderish voice to it. But when you change that voice control, that's why I'm pointing this out to you. When you change that voice control, you can get that lighter Marshall sound, not the plexi sound, but Marshall used to make some really nice combo amps back in the 60s. Now, granted, I know what you're saying. Well, Marshall modded Fender amplifiers. Okay, then it's a modded Fender Marshall esque kind of sound. It's a great little pedal, so I hope you enjoy it.
He said thanks, and he said he'll text it to you if that's okay.
Yep, just send it to me, and it'll be next Wednesday when we get down and send everything out. So we got a couple things that we got to get out. So that's what you got, buddy. I'm not saying we're going to do this a lot because this is a very poor channel. But that was our first giveaway ever on the channel, and Birdman nailed it, so he gets it. Yeah, Pentagore, I like that Vox sound. I'm gonna say right dead center. It has a Vox sound, but you've got to turn the volume, the level down, and turn the output up, and it gives it that floppy Vox sound. If you turn the level up and the output back and turn the voice up, I think that gives it more bite like the Marshall. Dead center to a little bit like, let's say, 11 o'clock with the level and output dead center. I'm going to say that that's more of the Fender-esque kind of sound.
He says, I have the Marshall and Vox models. With this one, I'll have the big three, LOL.
Yeah. And remember, Birdman, it's a pedal. So you got an amp behind it. The amp behind it always colors your signal, okay? So you need to try to get the amp, if you're just trying to get the sound out of the pedal, as flat as possible, okay? And then let the pedal do the work. And you can always shape it. Use the pedal to kind of boost in. You know, don't limit yourself by saying, well, I can't do this or I can't do that. Play with it. Maybe try it like more of a boost, okay? Add a little distortion, change the level and hit the front of your amp a little bit. Do your two different amps. You might find some in-between tones that you like. That's how I was using it before the Black Star failed. I was using it more as a boost to kind of kick the one channel a little bit more and give it just a little bit more hair. I found that's how I like the pedal. If I didn't use it like that, I went to the clean channel and I used it for more like a blues sound, just a real light crunch, because I don't think the Black Star crunch was that good. It kind of sounds flat and lifeless. So the clean channel sounds really good. So I was using this on the bluesy stuff, just a little bit of an edge, and that pedal into the clean channel worked really well. That's just my thoughts. I think that's one of their better pedals that Joyo makes. The other great distortion pedal that they make is called the Lancelot. Great 80s. That's kind of like a medium distortion to high gain distortion, not metal, but a high gain distortion to a mid gain distortion. I think the Lancelot is a great pedal. If you want more of the Mesa Boogie sound, look into their Extreme Metal pedal. It definitely has that rectifier tone if you're into pedals. And I see Vox has joined the group. Oh, and we got Steve. I don't know if I mentioned Steve in the shout outs or not.
You also got somebody named Ben.
Who is it?
Ben.
Ben?
Ben Allmark.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're new to the group, guys, everyone here shares information. And any comment, you don't have to be subscribed to comment. That's the big thing. I want you to come in and chat and be a part of the stream. That the stream only works if you guys contribute and talk, and that I look at that. I'm not as good as like searching for tone. I don't know if he's still in here. He goes melodically through the posts. I don't really do that. I don't have the fancy software stuff that he has. So I really depend on Linnell to flag out certain things that you guys are talking about. So the chat is like its own little world, and I'm just kind of rambling in the background. Around here, we say go to town. Okay. Can't crank it in my apartment, though. That's Birdman. Oh, you can crank it in your apartment, Birdman. You just may get evicted. That's the problem. I think that's why I bought a Vox VT20. I can crank it up a little. Only one, Vox amps have a sound. Yeah, Fender has what I consider the ultimate clean amp. Vox has a sound. Marshall has a sound. These are familiar sounds. I've never owned a Vox amplifier. I had a friend of mine, never played in a band with him, had a friend of mine that had a Vox amp. I thought it sounded cool. It wasn't my cup of tea, but it was a cool amp. I remember it had like this cloth front grill, and it was like a gold stitching that went crossways and an X in the front of it with black and like a silvery gold details on it. It was a pretty amplifier.
Searching for Tone said that's because you're smarter than me. This software is idiot proof.
No, that software searching for tone. When I watch your stream, sometimes I don't say anything. I kind of sit back in the background and I look at how it comes up, and it's so it's so intuitive to people like me. Okay, maybe I'm sitting in the kitchen and Linnell's talking to me. The chat window is really small. So when it comes up on your screen, it's enlarged in the bottom. And it comes up and it flashes. It lets you know, hey, there's a new comment that I'm showing you guys. And it makes my eye go to the screen. It's actually, it works really well, buddy. Trust me. Personally, I like it.
Mike's on.
Oh, Mike's on.
He said he's on hold with Delta, but he will be on until they pick up.
Well, hopefully you're on hold on Delta like the cell phone, and you're not on hold at the outer beacon circling the airport until you run out of fuel.
He said estimated time 28 minutes.
When people say, "Oh, I'm on hold on Delta," I'm thinking that you're out on the outer beacon circling the airport waiting for your turn to land. Chat's easier to see on television. Yeah, I've got this, I think this is a 25-inch monitor that I have here, and it does okay. Like I have the OBS or OBS open, and I've got YouTube. I've yet to actually figure out how to get OBS to post or show me the chat window. So I have a minimized window from YouTube up on the right that shows me the chat. And it's so hard to see your all's comment in that little tiny chat window. It's actually kind of ridiculous. You aren't turned up enough, Pentagore. I think Devastator's talking about the chat. If you guys get into the
Jennifer said I just asked the neighbor this morning if my guitar playing late at night was a problem. He said, you play guitar?
Oh, that means you can turn it up at least 2 or 3 more digits. If you're on 5, turn that thing up to 7 or 8. That's how I'm seeing it. My neighbors have never really said anything to me, but I try to be like now. It's summertime, so even though it's 8:49 where I'm at, the sun is still up. I see the red in the clouds back here from it going down. So our longest day of the year is coming up. It's either tomorrow, some people say, or Saturday, depending on how you view it. So at like 5:45, the sun's up, and it's still up right now. So it's a pretty long day. But I try not to play loud after 9. Even though the sun is still up, or actually probably 8. I mean, I'll do maybe 8:30 a couple times, but Linnell will say, look, it's a little late. Maybe you should turn it down. But the amp just sounds so good.
That's because our neighbors are older.
Oh yeah, we do have older neighbors. My neighbor here is retired, and well, actually on both sides they're retired. Um, Great neighbors. So the last thing I want to do is upset one of them. Yeah, I know if I needed an egg or some flour, or I needed to borrow a tool, I could go to either neighbor and say, "Hey, my weed eater just broke. Can I use yours?" And they was, "Oh, sure." Exact same thing. If they come over and they needed something of mine, I wouldn't think twice of it. I really do have good neighbors. That's you know, I guess I've been here quite a long time. I don't think I've ever really pushed the envelope of playing loud. Now during the day, yeah, I have turned my 50-watt amplifier almost to half volume. Um, and 50-watt stereo 4 6L6 amplifier. Um, yeah, it's pretty loud. It's quite loud. But I'll do that, let's say 1 or 2 o'clock midday. In the evenings, I usually don't go past a quarter, something like that, maybe a little past a quarter. It's still loud, but it's not, where it's just vibrating the windows when I really crank it up. And the amps against the windows, so I'm quite sure that you can hear it outside.
Yeah, you can. I've heard you outside.
Yeah, Linnell says you can hear it outside, and that's probably only at the quarter. Now I don't think we've ever been outside when I've really got it cranking, but you got a tube amplifier, so you've got to turn it up. Yeah, that's what makes it sound good. It's the tubes.
Jupe said, say, hey, can I borrow an egg? I'll play extra loud tonight.
Exactly. Well, my tube amplifier is great in the winter because, if I get cold, I put my hands over the back of it, get my hands warm from the 12AX7s and the 6L6s. But I will tell you this, the air conditioner in this house isn't much. Central air. When the tube amps are on, the living room stays warm. And that, no BS, in the summertime, if these tube amps are on, it's really hard to keep this living room at 74, 75 degrees. It is really hard. I got the other electronics here too. I got the rack. Now they are not creating the heat the tube amps do, but with all the electronics in here, it's kind of hard to keep the living room temperature, the same as the rest of the house. It's like you're shooting yourself in the foot. You got the AC on, and then you got these tube amplifiers just generating a ton of heat, in the room. So, how many people went looking on Sweetwater after the show last night on this guitar? I'm just kind of curious. I'm really hoping, because I do like the guitar. I'm really hoping that it does stabilize. But like I was telling you guys, with Sweetwater, you got a little bit of room to play and see. And I'm going to be the first one, guys. This is the most expensive guitar I've ever bought. So if it doesn't, I'm going to call them over the pickup cover. This cover here and this cover here has a blemish. And maybe they'll knock a little bit off of it for me.
Berman said, would putting an 8-ohm speaker in a 4-ohm amp hurt anything? Maybe the 8-ohm speaker might help keep it down a bit.
Yeah, your higher ohm speaker is going to make the amp a little quieter. The only thing you need to worry about, Birdman, and it's the main reason why I ran Hafler amplifiers. I only ran hand-wired Dave Hafler amplifiers. Well, I take that back. I had 2 Transnovas that were made by Rockford Fallscape when Rockford Fallscape bought Hafler. The reason I ran Hafler amps is you could run them down to 1 ohm load, and you could throw 1,000 watts out at 1 ohm, and the amp would just sit there and just whistle Dixie. It didn't care. The problem with these amplifiers, when you start getting low on your ohm loads, you start cooking the amp. It starts going. It doesn't like it. So going up, it's going to create a little bit more resistance, but it's fine. You're not going to have an issue. You just don't want to go down. Let's say if it's a 4 ohm amp, that's pretty low. I wouldn't really go below 3 ohms or 2 ohms. You got to look on the back or get on and find out what people have done. Usually, you got to have some resistance there. So you get down into the 1 ohm, usually things start going sideways pretty quick. But going up to an 8 ohm driver, you're going to be fine. You're not going to lose 50% of your volume. Let's say you're going to 4 ohm driver to an 8 ohm, you're not going to lose that much. But you will notice a difference. Celestion just come out with a speaker. Instead of using an attenuator, Celestion just produced this speaker that has a horrible dB rating. And they claim it's supposed to drive the amplifier just like an attenuator. The attenuator, though, you can dial it. You can bring the amp down. This is one set rating. I've watched 2 things on it. I don't know if I'd waste the money. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper than buying an attenuator, but an inefficient driver is an inefficient driver. It's still not going to sound like your other driver because the other driver is a 4 or an 8 or a 16 ohm driver. That's kind of where the driver gets its sound, if that makes sense. If you look at, an 8 ohm Celestion and a 16 ohm Celestion, if they're both creambacks or greenbacks, depending on how you wire them. Some people buy 16, some people buy 8s, and you can make 2 8s act like a 16, you can make 2 16s act like an 8, but they're going to sound different. They're just going to sound different. So Celestion making this high, this really inefficient driver to drive your amp more, I don't, maybe I'm wrong. I don't really see that taking off. One, because you're kind of limited. You can't go up like an attenuator and really tame your amp. It's only going to do X. I don't know if anyone else saw that. I forget what the model number is, but it's just an extremely inefficient speaker. And of course it's going to be quieter. So that's what you're doing, Birdman. Whenever you increase the ohms, it's going to make it quieter. And I see we got Dan in the group. I don't know how often he's chimed in before I said anything. But I always try to give everyone a shout out. Has anyone seen the Celestion speaker I'm talking about? They're supposed to say if it was an open box product, but oftentimes they lie and send you a demo guitar. That sounds like Guitar Center and Musician's Enemy. Musician's Friend, I'm sorry. We used to always call it Musician's Enemy back in the day. I have no idea why.
Hayes says, what do you think about guitar stores selling display guitars online as new for full price?
Well, I know my local store, okay? They've got a bunch of guitars on the wall. And sometimes they'll have a new one in the box in the back. But usually the guitars they're selling are the ones on the wall, okay? And I guess the way they view it, as long as it's in the store, it's technically new. As long as there's no blemishes on the guitar, about the best case scenario is maybe ask for open box deal.
He said,
if that makes sense.
Jude told him after many people play it, it's no longer new. And then Hayes says they're supposed to say if it's an open box product, but oftentimes they lie and send you a demo guitar.
Well, I tell you something else. You'll see it on Reverb. Something else, guys. Linnell's reading the chat to me. Pro Audio Star does it a lot. And if you don't know who Pro Audio Star is, go look at their Reverb listings. They might have 5 of the exact same guitars. They're either going to say open box or used mint. okay? And they'll have new ones. There's no way Pro Audio Star has four of these guitars used, mint. It's not going to happen. And they're selling them way below mount price, like $200, $300 below mount price. But they've got them listed as used, mint, or they're open box. That is a way of them getting around the mount price, if that makes sense. You see that a lot. But as far as stores selling it like that, I can see the store's point of view, if that makes sense. It hasn't left the store. And I qualify that as long as there's absolutely no blemishes on the guitar, and it is like it was when it come out of the box, I don't really have a problem with that. But as soon as that guitar gets a scratch on it from someone playing it, okay, whether it's on the pick guard or anything like that, then yes, then the customer needs to be notified. The guitar is new, but it's been on our display for X days and it's been played, and there are pick scratches. I think as long as they do that, I think it's okay. Now, if they pull that guitar off the wall, stick it in a box, tape it up, and tell you it's brand new, and then, unopened, I disagree with that. They need to tell you it was at least a floor model new, and it does have signs of being played. But this guitar here doesn't have a pick guard. So this guitar could be on the floor and played. Like I've played, this guitar probably now has probably 2 hours of playtime on it. I could put this in the box if I had Ibanez tape, and no one would ever know that this guitar had been played. Okay? So maybe it's been up on the wall for a month and 2 people have played it. It's still in new condition, if that makes sense. So that I don't have an issue with. That's just how I see it. And I see it that way because I have friends that own a store. I consider them friends. I knew their uncle more so than them. When I was playing music, they were, I don't even know if they were born yet, to be honest with you. But they bought it off of Roger, and I've become friends with them, and I think they're good guys. So I see both sides. If you're in the music store, as soon as you open the box, does that mean that you got to now sell it for less? At some point, someone wants to play the guitar. So if he doesn't purchase it and the next person comes in and plays it, is the guitar used? That would be like saying, well, I went to Nissan, just saying this, we just test drove a new Nissan. It had 25 miles on it. Well, someone's test drove that car before. Is the car used? Technically, someone's already drove it around, so technically it's used. I think that's up to the individual. I don't have an issue with it.
He said, I tried buying a King V, and they lied and said it was brand new, but it had some weird oil stains on the maple neck and gunk on the frets, and tried telling me it was brand new.
Yeah. At that point, I don't know if you bought it online or through Reverb, but Reverb has a dispute thing that works pretty good, from what I understand. So I would go through the Reverb, or just tell them, look, I get on live streams and I am going to call your business out every opportunity I have unless you work with me to try to fix this. You don't want to be nasty, but you also need to make them aware of, I work hard for my money, and this product isn't right. Just like me calling Sweetwater on these pickups. This is a $1,500 guitar. This guitar should not have blemishes on the pickup covers. It shouldn't. I don't care if this is a $300 guitar. It's new. It should not have blemishes on the pickup covers. And people pick on me when I review these budget guitars because I'm nitpicking them. It doesn't matter if it's a $300 guitar, a $1,500 guitar, or a $2,000 Jackson that we just ordered. The guitar needs the quality of the components and the finish need to be good.
He said
You know?
the thing that's exceptionally dodgy is guitar stores that make bad attempts to fix things and sell them as new to unknown buyers.
Yeah. There are bad shops like that. That's why I always tell people get a relationship with your local store. If you have, I'm very fortunate. My local store is Shenandoah Music in Winchester, Virginia. They're great guys. Um, we just ordered. Linnell just ordered a very expensive Jackson, and really they only asked for $100 up front. And I think that was just to put the ticket in the computer so they could order it. Um, I mean, how many music stores would do that? You don't have this guitar. I'll give you $100 and you order it and I'll pay for it when it gets there. Um, Probably not too many. Now, I've got a relationship with them. So I know those guys. I've built that up over the years. They knew me from when they worked there and their uncle still owned it. I came in and bought stuff. So years and years and years and years of dealing with a store, they get to know you. They get to know, if are you dependable? Is your word good? If I go in and put something on layaway and I know it's expensive, the first thing I'll do, I'll say, look, you guys got a 90-day layaway. Um, I don't know if I can get this done in 90 days. If I say, I know it's not going to take me 5 months. You guys good with that? Can I make payments on it for 5 months? And what's the worst thing they can say? No. A 90-day layaway. That's the worst thing they can say. But they don't. They say, yeah, we're cool with that. We'll put the guitar in the back for you. And you just, if you can get it done, then get it done. But I make sure if I told them I'd get it done, give me 4 months, I make sure in 4 months they're paid. I don't say, yeah, I can get it done in 4 months and I take 4.5 months or 5 months. I make sure that I stick by my agreement that I had with them. But I expect the same from them. If I go in and I buy a guitar and they say they're going to give me a free gig bag, well, I expect the gig bag. You told me if I purchased it for this price, I get a gig bag. Just tell me what your offer is and stick to it.
He said, I've told employees that I'm not going to buy the guitar because it has signs of wear and quality control issues and have been kicked out for it.
Wow. Yeah, I would just find another place, man. Like I said, I'm fortunate. I have a good store. In the store that I shopped, I lived in West Virginia for a little while, and there was a store called K&B Music. They're no longer in business, but that was my local store at the time. So I moved out of the Front Royal area up to the West Virginia area, and Winchester was still only about 30 minutes away. So I still went to Shenandoah, but my primary store was K&B. I still went to Shenandoah, but I went to K&B to get strings, chords, bought guitars off of them. So I try to support whatever closest store that works with me. And there was another music store in Martinsburg, West Virginia. I didn't go there because they didn't have any interest in you trying out a product. They never worked with you on the price. They never worked with you on anything. It was just, well, there it is. If you want it, buy it. If not, I got other customers. And it was kind of like, we don't care, about you. Do you want it? Oh, you want to play it? Oh, okay. Well, I think I'll go over here. And, it just seemed like everything was a big to-do. Well, I'm wanting to buy this guitar. You just want me to take it off the rack and give you the money for it without playing it? I want to play it. But it always seemed like they just didn't want to be bothered. And it was one of those places they made sure there was no cords out. You couldn't just grab a guitar and go over and plug it in.
Rock said, I asked for a gig bag when buying a guitar one time, and the dude asked me, why, do you gig?
I'm personally, guys, I like cases. Now, we have been getting these little gig bags here. Let me show you these little guys. Okay, now granted, it's a gig bag. Okay, it's not overly fancy. It's made by Gator, and it's probably about a ½ inch thick. It's not super thick. Okay, but it's got your little strap here. Got 2 straps there. Got your handle. Got the zipper piece here for the big pocket. Big pocket here. This thing's $30. It's $29 for something. I mean, is it a guitar case? No, but I can put a guitar in this, and it's going to keep it, keep the dust off of it. Okay, if it does happen to be setting up and it slides and hits another guitar in the gig bag, it's not like the neck of this guitar is wham right into another guitar. It has a little bit of pad to it. And we have them in the bedroom. So sitting like this on top of one another or sitting up on the butt of the guitar, it's fine. It's in a little gig bag. And for $29, it's better than nothing, if that makes sense. So we've been getting these.
Yeah, box said dust cover if nothing else.
Yeah, keeps the dust off of it. And like I said, there's a little bit of padding. So when we set them up on the floor like this, okay, and we've got them stacked up in the cases, I'll stick one of these in, guitar case, padded bag, guitar case. There's nothing wrong with that. It's going to be fine. And for $30, it's cheap. And like Vox says, it's for $30, I don't have to dust the guitar as much. I'll go with that. And a lot of times, Shenandoah, I think we've bought one of these. Usually they just give them to me. We bought the last one, I think, but they're $29. To me, that's kind of a no-brainer. Even if you don't have the money for the case, for $29, just get this to get you by until you do get a nice case for it.
Birdman says, Avery, some channels call the accessories that come with budget guitars trash. If the person is a beginner, it ain't trash in my mind.
The only thing that I'll say is crap about what budget guitars come with is that guitar cable. I mean, will it get you by? Yeah. I mean, personally speaking, I think a lot of these budget guitars, they shouldn't even put the cable in there. If that cable is costing them $1, $2, okay, put that $2 in better tuners. When these companies are buying tuners, okay, the tuners they're using are probably costing them probably $10, $11. So put that $2 in those tuners and give me a $2 better tuner.
Yeah, but he's mostly talking about like beginners.
Well, even at the beginner, there's nothing more frustrating than to give a kid or someone learning a guitar that they're constantly, having to tune, strum, and plat, it goes out of tune. They're learning. It needs to be a stable, well-playing guitar. It doesn't have to be great, but to keep them interested and so their fingers don't bleed and they're not, I can't do it. Give them a decent instrument that holds tune and it's not horrible to fret. And that puts the lever, the teeter wheel of whether you're going to keep playing or you're not going to keep playing. You give them something with the action that's up in the stratosphere and it doesn't hold tune, they're not going to want to play it. Even playing cowboy chords, it's going to kill their fingers. But if you give them something decent, decent nowadays, you spend $200, $150, you can get a decent starter guitar. What I'm saying is, at $150 or $200, don't give me the cord. just put that money in the tuners or something else, uh, if that makes sense, because you're not getting the amp with it. Even if you go out and you buy like the Squire has the little bundle pack with the Squire Strat and the little Squire amplifier, at least that cord is a little bit better quality than the one that the budget guitars come with. Even on the budget guitar, if they give you the Squire cord that come in the little kits,
Niles,
that would be okay too.
Niles gotta go.
Oh, all right, Niles, thank you so much for coming in, man. Heading out to watch Son of. Oh yeah, it's a good show. Not saying everyone should leave. That's a horrible show. Stick here. Thank you so much for coming into the chat, man. It's good to see returning people. I'm so glad that you come in and chat and be part of the be a part of the stream, guy. But yeah, just does that kind of make sense, guys? If you're doing a budget guitar, I'm buying the guitar. I don't need the cheap Radio Shack cord. Just leave it out and put that money in something in the guitar. And instead of cheaping on the pots, $2 in a pot takes you from a junk pot to a CTS. Just saying. You can buy a junk pot for $2 or $3, or you can buy a CTS for $6. Put that money in a CTS pot. Or like I said, just a little bit better tuners. I would rather see that. That seems to be the big thing with these budget guitars: cheap tuners and microphonic pickups, or just dead sounding pickups. And you can get a good pickup set. You can find good pickup sets out there. I'm talking new, not used. $35, $40 for a pickup set, and that's retail. Okay. So when a manufacturer goes to them and says, I want 500 sets of these, they should be able to get that pickup set down to the $20 mark, maybe $22, because they're buying in such large bulk, if that makes sense. Had a good luck with the Fluor. Yeah, the Alpha pots are good pots. I don't know about the other brand, but Alpha, in my opinion, is just as good as CTS. I will say that I'm going more towards Barnes pots than CTS now. I did two guitars with CTS push-pull pots. The first one I was kind of like, they're okay. And then I ordered more, and the second ones come, and they were still okay. The Barnes push-pull pots are just so much smoother. They just feel better. And the Barnes pots are pretty much the exact same price as CTS. This is just my opinion, but I feel the Barnes right now is making a better pot than CTS. The Alpha pot, I would put between the CTS, I like Alpha better than CTS, and the Barnes. So there's nothing wrong with Alpha pots whatsoever. I think we're coming up on break time, guys. Yep, I knew it because I was getting thirsty and I'm getting hoarse. Ha! If you're new here, we do an intermission because, one, I talk a lot, so I need to get something to drink. Of course, everyone needs to reload on popcorn. So we reload on popcorn because as I say things that you disagree with, you can throw popcorn at the screen. You can go to the restroom, get something to drink, get some victuals, some snacks, whatever you need to do. And we usually come back and do one more hour. So we're going to go to the intermission and we'll be right back.
said I could use a mic.
Okay, break time's over. You know, guys, I always go back and watch the streams, and last night's stream was really, off the cuff. When the box showed up yesterday for the guitar, I got on Discord and I was teasing everybody, and of course everyone said, "Well, let's go live. Let's unbox it live." And it was just supposed to be an unboxing, and then it come into checking the frets, looking at the relief, and we didn't really check a lot of the things that we normally check on the guitar, like the neck radius and stuff like that. But something I'm real curious about, I do want to check the pickups on the guitar, and actually see what these pickups are doing. Like I said last night, I've never had a guitar with Mojo Tone pickups. I'm not familiar with their products. I now know what they sound like, so I'm kind of curious what they actually read as. Now, I do have a right angle plug on this, and this has that strange jack. So first I need to see, can I actually plug this right angle jack into this guitar? And you can. I don't think I would advise it, but I'm going to be careful. So I'm going to turn up the volume. I'm going to kill that channel there. And let's turn the meter on. So we're at 20k ohms right now. So that is 20k ohms. That is our bridge position. And the switch is down. Now I'm going to flip the toggle switch and do the coil split. So that's the 20k ohms with the coil split. And humbucker mode. So now we're going to go up to our center position. This should be both humbuckers. And this is humbucker mode. Now I'm going to flip the switch to single coil mode. So that's splitting the coils on both pickups. Back to humbucker mode. Now I'm going to flip the switch to the neck position. Humbucker mode 7.08. Now I'm going to do the coil tap, and it goes to 3.10. Now I want to go back. This is our bridge position, and I want to switch it to 20H. We're going to look at the Henrys. So we got 4.56, and then again 20k ohm. So that means there's quite a bit of copper on these pickups. It's about 50%. It's showing that they do have strong magnets though, but there is copper on it. This number's not stupid high compared to the ohm rating. So in the center position, we had 4.32, and then checking the Henrys, we got 2.23. So they definitely got strong magnets. Going up to our neck position, again 20k ohms, 7.08, and then checking our Henrys, 4.08. So a little less copper on the neck pickup. So I was kind of curious. Always try to pay attention to that. That way I get a feel for what I'm looking for. But that's if you're into specs and stuff like that, that's what the guitar is actually doing spec wise with the meter. So I'm gonna plug the guitar back in here. I'm actually gonna turn that off. So again, I don't know. I think maybe that was influencing the sound earlier. put my headphones on, I just turned the Mackie all the way down. So the control room monitors, I have Wolfdales. And people are probably going, woof who? Wolfdale is an extremely high-end driver company. And at some point in the past, I don't think they no longer make professional drivers. I have two Wolfdale drivers, and they were part of an array system for a church. They had 4 array cabinets on one side and 4 on the other side, and I bought 2 of the drivers. So I use those as my PA. Back into the bridge position. This is our bridge pickup. We're going to split the coil. You can hear it's got a little more twang to it. And this is a high gain channel. So let's go up to our center position. Split the coil. Up to our neck position, humbucker mode. Honey doesn't like that. Notice, you see the little cup on the side of the screen, guys? She's trying to avoid the camera. It's so funny. Oh, Devastator. It's, look what time it is. It's hot cocoa time, Devastator. So in our neck position, that's humbucker mode. You know, a lot of times I always gravitate towards the bridge position. This guitar, the neck pickup, I really like. I really like the neck pickup. When we split the coil, I like this sound too. It reminds me of my Vandenberg and my Nitro. That split sound on the neck. Just don't want to strike, but That, we can, here's how you cheat. Hey, I'm playing it a half step up, so they should they should strike me. I'm sorry, guys. That, in my opinion, that's the split neck. That is a good sound, 100%. And that's a lot of distortion, but it has a lot of feel and articulation to it. It's just got a sound. I love the neck pickup in this guitar. This is humbucker mode. You can hear it's got a little bit more bottom end to it, a little fuller. It's it's quite nice. In the center position, split the pickup, so now we're using 2 single coils. I'm liking it. At first, when I first took it out of the box, I was not caring too much for the bridge position, but now after I said at the beginning of the stream, I left the bass where it was last night, but I've cut the mid a little bit and I've increased the highs.
Jerry gotta go.
Ooh, Jerry's gotta go. I gotta open the chat. Catch you guys next time. Thanks so much, Jerry, for coming in, man. I like seeing the blue wrench. But this is our neck pickup. Not neck, bridge. I've never played the A sharp. You know, when we make little mistakes like that, it's like, how in the world did I make that mistake? Not only did I fret a half step up, but I even fretted it with the wrong finger. And I'm still getting used to up here on the... See, I'm missing that. And I'm not sure, I've noticed it on the other S model that I have a tendency of missing that G. And you're probably going to say, well, I think it's the thin body.
Fox said I make lots of happy mistakes, kind of like Bob Ross.
It's like happy trees. These are happy notes. Speaking of Bob Ross, the best parody of Bob Ross that you will find on YouTube, type in how to paint like a liberal. And that guy is funny. I mean, he is funny. He's got the little wig on, looks like Bob Ross. There for a while he wasn't posting anything. Evidently, YouTube was really giving him a hard time. But my God, that guy is funny. So I'm finding myself, I think, where my arm is sitting on the guitar, plus I'm sitting down. I just started sitting down and playing about 2 years ago. I'm getting a little better at sitting down and playing. I'm more used to standing up and having the guitar. Everyone used to pick on me. I always had the guitar like this and played standing up. It's basically, I got the strap and it's choking me. And everyone would pick on me. Why you got your guitar up like that? And I'd have the strap on it. I just played with the standing up with the guitar at a steep angle like this. That's just how I always played. So playing like this, it took me a little while to kind of get used to it. Remember what I was saying about it wants to play fast? The frets, your hand just slides. Oh, boy, I'm making all kinds of stupid mistakes tonight. And that's a cheat right here. this guitar plays really well. I am calling Sweetwater though on the pickups, pickup covers. Now, I want to throw something out there. If I had money, I'm kind of a poor guy, but I'm really curious if you had these pickups. I wouldn't do anything with the neck pickup. The neck pickup is awesome, but this bridge pickup, I want to try to find this pickup used on reverb. Okay, the exact same pickup. And I want to find one of the quantum pickups used on reverb, a bridge. I want to take the pickups apart, and I want to use this pickup's inner coil, the one closer to the bridge, the outer coil closer to the bridge, and the inner coil of a quantum, and wire them together. I know what you're, well, why in the world would you do that? There's traits on both pickups that I like. I'm kind of curious what they would do if you kind of mixed them. It would be a super pain in the butt, but there's something in my little squirrel brain that's telling me if I used that combination, mixing them, that it would be an awesome sounding pickup. It would either be really good sounding or an awful sounding pickup. But I'm thinking mixing, I'm going to look on reverb. If I can find one of these, you know, at a reasonable price, something that I feel comfortable not wasting. If it's $100, I'm not going to do it. But if I could find this pickup for, let's say, $40, just this one pickup, maybe $50, I can get a quantum for $20 just for the bridge. Disassemble them and mix match the coils. I think that would be, I could be wrong. I think that would be an awesome sounding pickup. There's qualities to both pickups that I like. There's that one. Now I'm going to go grab the other one. Turn that off. I'm going to go grab the other one. We're gonna stick with the S model. That way you can't. They say, oh, it's a different body. Well, it's the same body shape, but it's a different body wood. So it's going to sound different no matter what. So here's this one. Now imagine those two mixed together. This pickup's got a little bit darker sound to it, but it breaks up on the mid. The Mojo Tone pickup is a little brighter, but again, it breaks up on the mid. I think when you mix the two, you would get that bottom like this one. You would still get that bottom, but you'd also still get that bright when you come into the... And these pickups have that, they pick up the harmonics well. They're just not quite as bright. These, I hate to say it, these pickups are just awesome in this guitar. This is Linnell's guitar. But I do hear these are a little warmer, if that makes any sense. But note clarification on these. I struggle with it. I know Ibanez made these pickups back in the day and they released them. I think Devastator or someone looked it up and they brought these pickups back. I see why they brought them back. These are great pickups. Ibanez, if you're listening, these are great pickups. Whether they're, I think Kurt was saying they're DiMarzio made. These are great pickups. Nothing at all wrong with those pickups. Exact same pickups in that RGA. I don't know what you guys, you heard them back to back, what you guys think. Put this one back on its rack. The court is waiting for a verdict on the pickup tone. Pentagore, you like the other S model better? Play some Tool. I used to play Tool back in the day. T-Shrimp, if you're new, welcome to the channel. Every time I see a new person, comment, I always give them a shout out. T-Shrimp, YouTube is getting really, really bad. I've been very fortunate. I have not received a copyright strike. I always try to change a note here or there, to where they can't say I'm playing this or I'm playing that. But they're getting more and more strict. If you play 80% and then make a couple changes, some people are still getting copyright strikes. And once you get so many, they can actually delete your channel. Once you get your first one, it's You get your second one, it's like they have you in your crosshairs.
Pinnacle said the ones you just played.
Huh?
Pinnacle said the one that you just played.
Yeah, Linnell's not Pinnacle, not this one, but the other one, right? Yeah, you're talking about Linnell's. Those Ibanez Quantum pickups are phenomenal. And what's funny about it, the first couple of times I played those pickups, I didn't know if I liked them or not. But once I figured out what the pickup liked on the amp settings, I like those pickups. You can find those pickups on Reverb right now for $50-$60 for like mint condition. You can get some that show some signs of wear for $30. I mean, that is dirt cheap for pickups like that.
T-Shrimp said the same thing happened to me when I posted bass videos.
Yeah, it's the artist should be happy that people like you and I, okay, musicians, are playing their music, okay? If I've never heard a Tool, okay, and I get on your channel, T-Shrimp, and you're playing it, I'm like, who's Tool? That's a cool tune. I'm going to get on YouTube, and I'm going to type in Tool, and I'm going to be introduced to something new. But if you force people like us to play it in a different key or change notes, people are like, well, that sounds awful. Who did that song? Well, I'm not going to listen to them. So I kind of think the artists are I don't know if it's the artist doing it or if it's YouTube doing it or these companies, that have royalties that gets rights. it's kind of weird to me because it's almost like you're preventing people from discovering your music through people like us talking about it and playing it. I think, emulation is the biggest form of flattery. If I see someone doing one of my licks or saying, "Hey, I'm going to do what Avery does," wow. If someone had enough respect for something I've done and took the time and learned it, that would make me feel, that would put me on a different level. That someone thought what I was doing was worth their time and time investment to learn something I did.
Mark said, "Happy little mistakes keep the copyright strikes away."
That's it. I'd like to say that sometimes I do it on purpose, but I don't. But I'll say, yeah, I played that on the flat note right there. That's not. But sometimes you just miss. We're all human. But it's funny. It's gotten bad. It's really gotten bad the last couple years. So I try to stay away from it. That's why a lot of times you guys will hear me kind of playing pretty much the same thing, because I've been able to get away with it for the last 2 years. And if they do strike me at this point, they're going to strike all my videos, because I try to do basically the same thing. I'll stray a little bit here or there, but if they do nail me on something, they're going to really nail me. But the 12 bar blues, stuff like that, there are so many songs. They can say, "Oh, that's copyright infringement. That's this band." Well, 12 bar blues have been played probably by every band that ever made it. And every bar band that hasn't ever made it has played the 12 bar blues. So it's kind of hard for them to say, well, you're playing the Black Crowes or you're playing an Elvis song. Elvis did the 12 bar blues too. Everyone's, B.B. King, everyone's done a 12 bar blues riff. So it's kind of hard for them to kind of nail you on that one.
Penagor said we should start a band called Intentionally Missed Notes. We can't fail.
Intentionally missed notes. And then we can name the first album Tab. Oh, that's pretty good. Jackson, I like red. Yeah, Mikey, the Jackson that we just did a review on, that was a phenomenally good guitar. Just a great guitar. Now, granted, every guitar is different, and I've told people this. If you guys want that Jackson, it's at Shenandoah Music. I would call them, because there's no way that guitar is going to stay there long. That is a phenomenal playing instrument. Call them, ask them, tell them you want a deal. I'm not going to say they offered us a good deal on it. It's just we didn't get it. And that brings me back around. Linnell did order a Jackson. And we sat there and we were talking back and forth. And I asked Linnell, I said, are you sure you want this Jackson? There's a red Jackson right there that we know is awesome. And I know what it was. It comes down to money. It really does. That other Jackson was $2,100. And like I said, they did offer us a good price on it. But even at that good price, the one she ordered is about $500 less. So is the one she ordered going to be as good? Lord, I hope so. If it plays anything like that red one did, she should be in little hoggy heaven. It is a true neck-through guitar, 24 fret. Got a Floyd Rose 1000 on it. Got a crackle finish. It should be an awesome guitar. I'm hoping, they said it would take about a week to get here. I'm hoping when we go in Saturday, they'll have it there and we can actually look at it.
Well, hopefully, because they're closed all next week.
Yeah, hopefully they have it next Saturday, because they're closed. They take a whole week off at the first part of summer, and they do it every year. The store's always done it. So if it's not here this weekend, we won't be able to see it next weekend either. It'll be the following weekend before we actually get to look at it.
Yeah, they'll be closed from the 22nd
Yeah, they're gonna be closed all next weekend. Not this weekend, but next.
They're closing up from this Sunday to next Sunday. They'll be closed.
Yeah, Sunday to Sunday they're closed. So if you guys are thinking about the Red Jackson, call them tomorrow or the next day. If not, they're gonna be closed for a whole week. But that guitar I will vouch for. That Red Jackson was awesome.
T Shrimp says I'm going to bed, and he's subscribed.
Oh, thank you so much, T Shrimp. Like I said, I don't force anyone to subscribe to chat. I want you to come in and meet everyone in the chat. Everyone here is good. We do have a Discord. I don't know if boy, I can't talk tonight. I don't know if my moderator, my tongue gets bad. If my moderator has put the link for Discord in the chat, but we do have a Discord channel. But you're subscribed now. We do this on Thursdays and Saturdays. Everyone throw a turkey. No, you don't need to throw. I hit turkeys with the truck, remember?
He said that, well, before that, he said he just called Linnell a pig. Let's get him.
Oh my gosh. Devastator's poking the old bee's nest tonight. But thanks so much for hitting the subscription button. And hopefully you'll come in. You don't have to come every time, but come in and chat with the guys. It's a good group of guys here. Thanks, man.
Birdman said, which model are the Quantums in?
Now, when you go look at the Quantums, the specifications will tell you. The Quantums are in the S model that I just played, the burst one, and they're also in this blue one over here. And out of the two guitars, like I'm saying, every guitar plays a little different. I think the blue Ibanez, this one over here, plays just a little bit better. Yeah, I know. I'm struggling tonight, guys, with the words. I think now I haven't set either one of these guitars up. This one out of the box, set up in the feel, okay, plays a little bit better than this one. Out of these two. And they both have the exact same pickups. And you can see the S model here is much, much thinner than this model. It's still a thin body, but the S model's thinner. This is an RGA. This is an RGA 42 FM. RGA 42 FM. And this one is an S621QM. An S621QM. Both have the Quantums.
Did you hear me?
I don't know which one he might be referring to.
I don't know. He just said, did you buy it?
Yes, this white one I purchased. This one is my guitar. And I bought this one because I liked Linnell's S model so much. I wanted an S model with just two humbuckers and a nice bridge. And this is the only one Ibanez makes with just two humbuckers. All the other ones have a center pickup. So I have three pickups. So if you want an S model with this really thin body, an Edge Tremolo, this is it. This is the only one that you can get with just two humbuckers. But I did purchase this one. And there are some blemishes on the pickup covers. To be honest with you, it shouldn't be that way. Sweetwater did an inspection on this guitar, and you can obviously see there's blemishes on the pickup covers. So how that went through their inspection, I really don't know.
I think Nicholas sent two pictures, but I'm not sure where. He says set two pictures, but I think he meant sent.
If you sent two pictures, Nicholas, do you know where you sent them to? Did you send them to the teams, or did you send them to Discord? I'm going to Teams right now. Yep, Nicholas sent them to Teams. Okay, guys, let's check out. Ooh, that's a beautiful guitar. All right, we're going to check out what Nicholas just sent us. We're going to display screen. And here's what Nicholas just sent us. That's a beautiful finish on that guitar.
Birdman says, which quantum sounds better to you, neck or bridge or both?
I really like the bridge. Now, on the white S model that I'm playing, that neck pickup is just stupid good. So if I did anything, I might put, you're all going to laugh, I might take the Mojo Tone pickup out of the bridge and stick a quantum in and leave the Mojo Tone neck in the guitar. And that is, I think that's a Carvin. I don't know what that is, but it's a beautiful guitar. And here's the back, and it is neck through. That is a beautiful guitar. And Nicholas, you can put in the chat what the model is and everything. That is a locking tuners. They look like the Diodario locking tuners. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what they look like. Those auto cut tuners, that's kind of what it looks like.
He said it's a Carvin.
It's a what?
It's a Carvin.
It's a clone?
Carvin.
Carvin. Yeah, it kind of looked like a Carvin. What's the tuning pegs on that thing? Are those the Diodario, the auto cuts? They look like the Diodario auto cuts. That's a beautiful guitar. I really like that. That's got more switches than the space shuttle.
He said DC 400.
DC 400. Yeah, I like that one. So if you're new in the chat, we have a Teams and Discord, so you can send pictures to either one. And the moderators, if you have any questions, the moderators can help you out on how to get to those. There seems to be sometimes issues finding me one on Teams or Skype, as it used to be called, or Discord. So we're still working the bugs out to figure out how to get it straight. I plan on getting with Devastator this weekend, and maybe we can get some links on the Music and Gear main page. We have not done that yet, so it's only been word of mouth through the live streams. That's kind of where we're at right now on that. It's only been word of mouth through the live streams. And I don't know how many members we actually have for not pushing it or doing any shorts or anything saying it's there. I want to say we have 10 or 12, maybe more.
How do you say that? Spurgle?
Oh, yeah, I know it's, yeah, Spurgle. I am the world's worst at English. Yeah, but I know the tuner brand. Yeah, they're good tuners. She's a beaut. I agree, Steve. That's a beautiful guitar. You know, if I ordered something, Kiesel will still make you a guitar, that guitar with the Carvin logo and stuff on it. I know some people that have done that. They order a Kiesel, but they still want the Carvin logo. Some of the DC stuff, they still do that. You can call them and ask them, and they will make it. Yeah, Steve says 13, so I'm thinking that's what he's talking about on the Discord. So that's not too bad. Like I said, this is a small channel. We're still growing. I'm trying to get the word out for new people. Our last night's live stream, we had more views and more participation than we've ever had. And that kind of goes to show that your little card that you make makes all the difference in the world. If you look at this channel's cards that I use, I don't spend a lot of time. I usually just take a photo, description. Maybe I should take more time and really think about the little card that YouTube posts, because that's what people see the most. And that was a very simple card. It was just a big, picture of the headstock. So all you saw on the card was this. It was just the big Ibanez headstock. And I think that caught people's attention. And that got them to come in and check out what was going on. Usually on this, it's just a picture of the Sweetwater Guitar Gallery saying Thursday night live stream. I don't even think it even says music and gear on it. It's just really simple. It's more geared to the people that know what we do here, if that makes sense. So we definitely need to step up our game, if that makes sense. Hey, Mike's back on. Mike, I think you missed all the demo sounds. We were just comparing sounds on this guitar versus the RGA and the other S model. Mike would be a good one to do some custom pickups like that. I think it would be cool. But stopping and thinking about it, listening the pickups on that guitar, let me get that guitar. Well, let me play. I haven't played that one. So let me get that one. That way you guys can hear. It's not just the guitar. They're good pickups. So let's plug this one in. And Ibanez brought these pickups back. They stopped making them for a little while. Good heavy pickups. If you like playing heavy hair stuff or the modern stuff. These quantum pickups are just awesome. I think I might do some reverb hunting on the next payday. Find me some quantum pickups that I can put in. First, I'm calling Sweetwater and see what they'll do on the Blemish pickup covers. But if I decide to keep it, I think I'm gonna put a quantum in the bridge position. Well, we're gonna play it by ear. I'm not gonna do anything until I've played the guitar for a little while. But these pickups, This is the RGA. This isn't their cheapest line. The Geo is their cheapest line, but they're putting these pickups in the S model as well. I can't get over. I think I said it before. This guitar has become my best budget friendly, out of the box. You don't have to do anything to it. The tuning keys are great. The pickups are great. It plays great. It's got a thin neck, good fit and finish. Got a nice quality switch. The jack feels tight. You don't have to change anything on this guitar. Buy this thing, make sure you get a good setup on it, and just play it. I'm sticking to it until I run across something, guys, better at $450. This one's got my vote. If you need a good, and it sounds good clean too. The pickups they're good. And this thing, the neck on it's thin. It's hard to justify 3 times the cost for the white one that I just got. And granted, like I said, the fret feel and stuff's better. But for your price point, this is probably the best guitar you're going to get at that price point. And I qualify that because I do a lot of budget guitars, and it seems like you always have to put work in them. You don't have to do anything to this. So that means something. It really does. Yeah, I think you all are talking 35 for the set on Reverb. There's I think the cheapest I saw on Reverb was 30, and the most expensive set I saw was 65. That's a good pickup. I was playing everyone knows I'm a JB freak. I picked up my Beretta after playing this, and I was like, okay, the volume's down. And I'm like, no, the volume's all the way up. They've got some push.
Nicholas said, how much is the blue one with a trim?
I don't know if they make the RGA with a trim, to be honest with you. We would have to Sweetwater that. This is an RGA 42 FM. I'm sure they do. Usually, like Linnell's S model, they make the exact same guitar, but it does have the center pickup with the tremolo in the Dragon Burst, and that one's $5. It's more money. They got a blue quilted top burst, and then the red quilt. The red one, like she's got, is $100 more than the blue one. I think the blue one's $5.99, and the quilted red one, like she's got, is $6.99 with the tremolo. But I bought my S model because I didn't want the center pickup. And now this one's 2 pickup model too. I'm quite sure that Ibanez offers this model with a floating bridge. I did not look because I was more interested in the S model. It's a good sounding instrument.
There was one like that blue one you have.
Like,
Apparently it was sold. It was sold on Reverb. It says this item's no longer available, but it was $389.99 with a tremolo with a locking nut.
Linnell said they had this one on Reverb, $389.99 with a tremolo.
It says it's no longer available though.
It's no longer available though. So she must be on Reverb hunting RGAs with tremolos. If you find one, go and post a link in the Discord, or post a link on the Discord, or send me the link on Teams.
Well, it's an RGA R42M FMT.
Did you guys hear that? It's an RGA R42 M FMT. That's what you guys want to type in. Oh, Devastator's got it. Devastator nailed it. Reaching for the bar and there's no bar. It's a solid instrument.
Kurt said he looked on Sweetwater that they do make RGA with a trim. They're prestige models and cost around $2,800.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of the RG. The RG, it's quite funny. The RG stands for Roadstar guitar. Okay, well, I had a Roadstar in the 80s. It was just called a Roadstar 2. So they just took it, instead of it just being a Roadstar, now it's a Roadstar guitar. That's what RG stands for.
Devastator sent you a link to one on Teams.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great guitar. Now you have to look, like Devastator put the link up for the RGAR 42M FMT. Now, does it have the quantum pickups?
It does.
Linnell says it does.
At least what I was looking at does.
The one she was looking at said it did have the quantum pickups. Because they have another set of pickups that they put in these as well. So you got to look at the specs if you like the sound of these pickups. These are the quantum. I have to say that, like I've said, this is the best bang for your buck guitar. And everyone knows I like a tremolo bass guitar. But when I play leads and hammer-ons and heavy bends, this guitar is better at doing the open blues kind of heavy pulls, because you're striking the E or the A and then you're doing a pull. This is the better instrument if you're doing that kind of playing, okay? Because when you bend the note on this one, your E and the A open is going to go out of tune because it's a floating bridge. So depending on what you're doing, you may want a fixed tail. Okay, does that kind of make sense? Let's say, let me put my headphones back on because we are not playing through an amp. We're playing a modeler. So let's pretend, and you guys can watch. If if you're doing a lot of open and pull, stuff like that, you're probably going to want a fixed bridge. You can get away doing it on the other one. And unless you really pay attention, I have to put this one over on the chair. Hold on. So unless you really pay attention, and if you wasn't here when I showed it before, this is what a floating bridge does. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to strike the lower note and then I'm going to bend the other strings. Okay, going to hit the low E and I'm going to bend the high E, but I'm not going to strike it. That's because the bridge moving. So when you come in, there's going to be notes that are going out of tune. There has to be. Because when you bend, that E is going out. So it depends on what you're playing. I just like a wiggle stick.
Steve says he just looked up the Tim Shaw Dirty Finger Pups that are in his Gibson Sonics. They've sold for as high as $1,000. People are out of their mind.
We saw some pickups. How much did they want for those green Ibanez? There was like 10 sets of them made or something. I think it was $1,000 for the one pickup. It was a green, some kind of limited edition Ibanez pickup, and it was $1,000 for one pickup. Crazy amount of money. Now, if you were here before on the Quantum pickup, there's something about the sound of this pickup I like too. Okay, that's why I was saying I would love to experiment. Try to find one of these Mojo Tone pickups, get one quantum bridge pickup, tear the coils apart, and mix the coils, and see what you end up with. The quantum is a little darker. Okay, even though it's darker, it's still really resonant. It's a very harmonic pickup. Same with these. These are a little brighter, okay? But they both have that edge of breakup tone on high gain. I swear, I think, like I said earlier, it would either sound really bad or really awesome. Maybe one day I might waste almost $100 and tear a set of them apart and see what happens. But you can't say that these pickups sound bad. That's an awesome sounding pickup too.
Birdman says RG470AH pup good. He's asking.
I don't know that one, Birdman. I would have to look it up, if that makes sense.
Nicholas.
Okay, Nicholas, thank you for joining the chat. And I think I've said it a million times, and thanks. Thank you. Hopefully you can see the difference in the way I'm attacking the strings, buddy. Thank you so much.
Devastator said the one that he linked on Teams is $350 from Guitar Center. That could be a good candidate for the Super Chat guitar review and giveaway. Would anyone else be interested in that?
You just sent a link to Teams?
Yeah, for that guitar.
Yeah, let me go to Teams.
It's the blue guitar like mine with a tremolo.
Okay.
I do believe.
Yep, Guitar Center. Close. So let me go to display screen, guys. So this is Devastator's link. So here's that guitar. Ooh, got a reverse headstock too. Now this one does have a blonde fingerboard, but you got the reverse headstock. And that is the Floyd, Ibanez Floyd bridge. So that does not have a Goto edge. Says RG series at the top. Yep, that's it. Condition is used for $349. Now I wonder if that guitar is still in production. That would be the question. Is that guitar still in production? But yeah, that's a good deal. $349. They're saying condition great. So I guess that's going to be a mid-tier. It's not perfect, but it's not beat up. See what else they got. Anything else? RG330. Here's another one. Exact same guitar in a different color. 324 again. RGA AR42M FMT. That's the same color as Linnell's guitar, but it's not the quilted. It's a tiger stripe. That one's pretty as well. You got that one. What else I got? RG320DXQM. Let's see what this one is.
Devastator said he can't find a new one.
Here's an RG320DXQM.
Mike has to go.
Oh, we're losing Mike. Okay, Mike, thank you so much for coming in. There's different mics. Is that moderator Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Mike. Thank you so much for coming in, man. I like it when you come in and join the chat and hang out with us, man. Hit me up on, well, now it's Teams. So we were using Skype. So if you log into your Skype thing, it should automatically switch you over to Teams. Hit me up on Teams, man. We need to get together and talk again. Got some stuff I want to ask you about. Thanks for coming in, buddy. This one's kind of cool, guys, if you like the darker fingerboard. This one looks like it's been well loved. There seems to be quite a bit of corrosion on this guitar.
Steve said nothing wrong with saving money because of blemishes that will have happened eventually anyway.
What's this, honey?
Steve said nothing wrong with saving money because of blemishes that will have happened eventually anyway.
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna play it, it's gonna get some love scars. So now here's a 670 QM. I don't know if this one's the one with the bridge or not. And it is. So this one's like Linnell's other guitar, the Dragon Burst one. So this is the S model, and notice it does have that center pickup I was telling you guys about. Whoever took these pictures were really, really bad. So you can see it's the thin body, center pickup, and that does look like the edge tremolo. Low profile edge tremolo. S series. Oh, and it just, they want $379 on this one. Wow. Gotta save $100 on this ESP if someone's into ESP. Oh, well, it must be gone. I just clicked on it and it didn't take me anywhere. So it looks like someone already bought the ESP. 320, I think we looked at that one. This was the first one we looked at. So there's a few models in the RGA and S model that you can pick up in the mid 300s used. This one looks really clean though. This one says condition great. This one looks very clean. But everyone here knows I'm more of a dark fingerboard player. But if you like the lighter fingerboard, this would probably be the one to get. Back to the main scene, and let me open up the chat again. Oh, my gosh, look at that. Crazy stuff going on. That would be a killer combo, Kurt. Always just, I want an Iceman with a locking trim. They don't make an Iceman with a locking Goto bridge? I find that hard to believe. They've got to make an Iceman with a locking bridge. I may have to Google search that one. They've had to make an Iceman with a locking bridge. Okay, guys. It is a Thursday night, and I do have my other job to go to tomorrow. So I'm going to call it a night for tonight. I want to thank everybody for coming in and talking guitars and and doing links. And remember, if you like to keep talking and stuff, we do 5 minutes after the stream that you guys can finish up. But now we have, thanks to Devastator, 100% credit goes to Devastator. He's taken the time and started the Discord server. So you can go there and hang out with the other guys. And, you know, you guys are on the topic of these models with the floating bridge. You can post, you know, there if you find one for other people that you think's a good deal, or looking up an Iceman with a bridge. That's the place to kind of post it.
Kurt said nope on Iceman with locking.
Wow. That's a very aggressive body style. Why Ibanez has never made that guitar with their one of their fancy edge bridges. That blows my mind. I don't get that. That's something everybody needs to email Ibanez on that. That would be a killer. I just always assumed they made one. That would be a killer guitar. That would be an Explorer killer. You know, the what's the Epiphone made the Explorer with the FR1000. That would be an LTD killer, because LTD's got their version of the Explorer with a floating bridge. That would sell. That would sell. All right, guys, we're gonna go for the 5-minute ending stream, and everyone can finish up their chats and stuff. Don't forget about the Discord server. I'm sure there's a link somewhere up in the top to get on it. And this weekend, Devastator, hopefully, and I will get together, and he can talk me through what I need to do on the main page and get a link up there so new people can come in and find it. And again, I want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out on a Thursday night. We do it again on Saturday night, and thanks again, guys. Without you guys, this is not possible. 100% not possible. So thanks.